Sam, Coach Herman and Coach Aranda are really close friends and have known each other for a while. So I was wondering if you've ever had a game, whether at Texas or at Westlake, where you were playing or on the opposite side of the field, like one of your closest friends or someone you've become really, really tight with.
Yeah, I playing against USC. Levi Jones was at USC. We played against them, and so I know freshman and sophomore year we were both on the field at the same time. So that was pretty cool.
Bob, go ahead.
Sam, I think after TCU, it felt like you were probably I don't even know if it was disappointed. It felt like you were just baffled that the mistakes were happening and that the things had gone the way they had gone. Do you feel like in the last couple of weeks, your frustration kind of reached a tipping point of where you guys are as a team, where you expected to be at this point? And how do you make the adjustment moving forward to, stay together and keep things going on the right path?
I think a lot of that work is done over the summer and over fall camp and things like that, when you really truly come together as a team and form those relationships. So then when things do arise during the season, you already have that foundation to fall back on. So with that being said, I do feel like as a team, we're very close. And we certainly haven't let any frustration or mistakes splinter us in any sort of way. And I think the way to combat that and any way to elite performance in anything that you do is having a positive mindset. It's very easy, especially in this day and age, to let negative thoughts dominate your mind space. And when you start to do that and you have negative thoughts about anything, whether that be a play, a person, or something going on in society, it dominates your mind and gets in the way of performing at the best. So I think this week I'm going to continue to try to enforce a positive mindset moving forward so we can continue to get better and not let those things get in the way.
Just real quick to follow up, Sam, is that a fair description? I mean, with all the expectations of what you wanted out of this year, I'm sure you're thinking undefeated and playoff and all those things. Like, did the frustration for you reach a tipping point after TCU, after OU, where it just felt like there was something different there for you? Is that fair?
No, I don't think so. I think there's so much of the season left that it would be unreasonable for me to ever reach a tipping point in any emotion across the spectrum.
Dennis, go ahead.
Sam, what was Conte's message to you guys about the Eyes of Texas? Did it give you anything new to think about, and what do you expect at the end of Saturday's game?
Mr. Del Conte came in and laid out the expectations for paying respect to the fans in the university. I'm sure that y'all have heard plenty about that, so I don't need to go into much depth about that. But I'm worried about playing the game. We want to win, and this is a lot of politics that are getting in the way, and we understand that. And so while I absolutely respect the university and the Eyes of Texas, I want to win, and that's our job. Our job isn't to determine what's the right or wrong thing to do. Our job is to win and eliminate distractions along that path.
Thanks.
Mike, go ahead.
Sam, you just said it. You moved past the games and you're ready to get back on the field. What are your expectations against Baylor, and what have you seen on film about Baylor?
Yeah, they obviously they've been hit pretty hard this year with COVID. So they haven't played as many games as other teams up until this point have. So and obviously a new coordinator on the defensive side of the ball. So kind of digging up some old film from last year and things like that. But I know that they're going to play hard. I remember just last year, the way that they played and the culture that they had. They have a bunch of guys that run to the ball, play with great effort. And I'm sure, and that's what I'm expecting on Saturday. A really well-coached team that gives great effort, and they have really good players as well.
Jake, you're up.
Sam, going back to the first question from Joe, I know that Charlie may not be your best friend, but you've known him for a really long time. What kind of competitor is he, and what's it like going toe-to-toe with a guy who you've known for so much of your football career?
Yeah, I have a ton of respect for Charlie. Actually, I live with Cade Brewer. We talked to him on the phone a few days ago. So we're constantly keeping in contact. He's an incredible competitor, incredible quarterback. Obviously, has had a tremendous amount of success in his career, and competing against him it's been awesome because of the competition that he always brings, and then also the friendship that we have off the field. I think that he's a really, really good dude, and also a great football player on top of that.
Onward, you're up.
Hey, Sam. I know you're loving these eyes questions, but after the Oklahoma game, you were obviously, there's a picture of you standing by yourself. Can you just kind of walk us through what led that, after the game to you kind of being solo? And it was any part of you that was disappointed about you being by yourself, or were you just kind of in the moment and didn't realize it at the time?
Yeah, Anwar, I think it's a little bit of a misunderstanding. With everything going on, I know it's been blown up and all over the place, but I stayed on the field after for longer than my teammates. I was talking to coaches and players, and so I was out there for a longer time. All of Oklahoma's players were running. They won. They were celebrating, rightfully so. They won the game, and you don't want to stand out there when there's no band, and it just took a really long time. And there were a lot of things going on. And so I know that there were a few other guys out there on the field. I know when I turned around to walk back to the locker room, Taquan Graham was there waiting for me. I don't know if he sang the song or not, but he didn't leave. I wasn't the only one on the field. And so I think there was a bit of confusion there. But yeah, after the game, I was talking to coaches and players, and then remembered to walk over to where the band normally is, I guess. And sing the song.
Chip, go ahead.
Sam, what gives you confidence that improvement has been made during this bye week, and that you're gonna, get a better effort against Baylor on Saturday?
I think the work that we put in, we did a lot of solid work. Over the bye week, it would be very easy for everyone to say, no, I'm good. I'm going to rest this week because we don't have a game on Saturday, but I didn't feel that at all. I thought that everybody came and understood that we had to put in work, and we put in a lot of high speed work against each other. And I think that we got better.
Steven, you're up.
Sam, I know you told Kirk a little while ago that you can't speak for the rest of the players on the roster, but I was wondering, why do you personally feel that it's important to continue singing The Eyes of Texas?
Well, I shared my perspective with the team. So to front end that question, there is no splintering of this song. I think that because it's an election year, everything is made up to be a lot more polarizing than it really is. I've had a lot of talks with guys on the team, and they completely understand my perspective. And that perspective is that, I grew up a Longhorn. I grew up singing The Eyes of Texas, win, lose, or draw. And I understand, I shared that experience with my family, and I shared that experience with my dad. And never once singing that song has anything negative ever crossed my mind. It was always about, paying respect to the university and the incredible tradition that the University of Texas has. And I also feel a connection with my family and my dad singing that song because I grew up doing that. And so that's why it's important to me, and all of my guys and all of my teammates understand that, and they know my perspective. And so, yeah.
Olivia, go ahead.
Hi, Sam. After the TCU loss and the Oklahoma loss, which both were very hard for the team, how do y'all rebuild momentum and excitement in the locker room after 2 weeks of y'all playing hard and it not going in y'all's favor?
Just wanting to win. I think playing for each other and playing together and improving and winning is something that drives our team. So I think just trying to improve and win. That's really what we want to do.
We got two last questions in queue. We'll start with Danny.
Sam, you kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but how exactly do you prepare for, a conference opponent with a new coordinator who doesn't necessarily have a lot of film at his new school on film? Is that one of those impossible tasks, or is there a way to kind of go about that?
No, I think there's certainly a way. Playing at this level, this isn't a specific coordinator's first job, and people generally carry over tendencies that they have from previous schools and what got them at the university that they're coaching at, because it's probably proven successful. And so I think for us, it's obviously personnel stuff, and then schemes from this year, certainly from what they've played in their first two games, and then also looking back from the past few years. Okay, what's his tendencies? What defenses has he run in the past? What has he had success with? Things like that.
Marcus, go ahead. Last one.
Yeah, Sam, I'm curious, Keionte, back-to-back games with fumbles now. What was his 2 weeks of practice like, and what is his mindset right now after some mistakes?
Keionte is an extremely tough guy, and he's come in and work extremely hard every single day. There's been no negative energy coming from him. He's shown up and gotten to work and practiced really hard.